In this video, we'll go over 10 items which are hidden in the world in some way, shape, or form, and either require you to do a special thing to obtain them, or just require you to find them in a somewhat hidden location. And at number 10, we have the Doomsayer's robes. This is a toy item that allows you to don Doomsayer robes and have a little plaque on your chest and back, which probably spouts some Doomsday-related writing. And the way to get these robes was discovered in Legion in a way that wasn't very obvious. Basically, what you have to do in order to find this item is sneak into your enemy faction's capital city and kill a very specific NPC. For Horde players, you have to sneak into Stormwind City and kill Gordon McKellar, Assistant Confetti Cannon Operator, who is located in the Mage Quarter inside this building here. Now, this NPC doesn't have a 100% chance to drop it, so you may have to kill it a few times. But the drop chance isn't super low either. Basically, you won't be able to loot its corpse unless it drops the toy item, because it doesn't drop anything else. And it personally took me about 5 kills before I got mine. Now normally, when you kill enemy faction NPCs, they don't really drop stuff. So how they found out that this one specific NPC dropped the Doomsayer's robes was basically left up to chance. For Alliance players, you have to sneak into Orgrimmar and kill Charles Ghastly, Undercity Goods, who is located next to the Horde Zeppelins, out in the open, and a heavily traveled area, so it's much harder to kill than the Alliance counterpart. And just like with Gordon, the only thing it drops is the Doomsayer's robes, so you can't loot him unless he drops the item. Both of these NPCs have respawn timers at around 6 minutes on average, so you may have to keep sneaking around that faction's capital in order to actually get the robes. And there have been reports of them dropping from city guards as well, at a much lower drop chance. And at number 9, we have the Poison Extraction Totem. This totem is one of the few quest items that can be used outside of its questing zone, and is considered a hidden item for this list because most people don't know about that, have already completed the quest this totem is associated to, so they can no longer obtain this item, or would never think to do this specific quest just to get a droppable totem. Now, the way to get this totem is to head to Durotar and go to the Troll Village right here, just south of Razor Hill. Then all you do is talk to the NPC Bombay, and he'll give you a quest to kill some crabs on the beach. And once you turn that quest in, then you'll obtain the Poison Extraction Totem for the next quest. In order to keep the totem, all you have to do is simply not turn in the quest. And there you have it. You now have a throwdown totem whenever you want on a 15-second cooldown. Now, the unique thing about the Poison Extraction Totem, compared to other quest items that can be used anywhere out in the world, is that this totem can be attacked. So if you drop it down in front of a pathy mob, the mob will aggro onto the totem. You can also drop it in world PvP to potentially block an attack, or in other situations in which you'd want a summonable thing that your opponent can attack instead of you. You can drop it on top of a shaman's totem in order to give it a little bit of protection by having your opponent accidentally target this totem instead of, say, the Spirit Link totem. Its uses are pretty situational and not all that super useful, and could be more thought of a cosmetic item if you want a fun little totem to drop down on a 15-second cooldown. Now, this totem is Horde only, and only obtainable by classes which haven't already completed the quest, which is in the Orc Control starting zone, and there's a good chance a lot of characters can't go back and get this item, making it a somewhat rare hidden item. And at number 8, we have Mr. Pinchy. This item can be obtained randomly when fishing Highland Mixed School fishing pools in the Terakar Forest. Once you obtain Mr. Pinchy, you can use the item and it will do one of 5 things. One of the things is to grant you a pet, the Magical Crawdad, which is a really good pet in both PvE and PvP pet battles, and can be sold on the auction house, so it's worth a lot. And its other 4 effects are nowhere near as good, as it can also give you a health buff, a box which will contain TBC potions, it will spawn a Guardian Crab that will fight for you for 10 minutes, or a Furious Mr. Pinchy, who is a hostile crab that will attack you. Each Mr. Pinchy will grant you 3 charges, and you can only use 1 charge every 4 hours, which will take you 12 hours to use all 3 charges in order to try for the pet. And the cooldown for this item used to be a lot longer in the Burning Crusade when it was first released, so 4 hours is pretty reasonable compared to its old cooldown. And at number 7, we have the Spectral Feather. This is an item that randomly spawns in the hay next to the Flightmaster in Stormwind, and when you click on the feather, it will summon a Spectral Gryphon, who is obtainable by BM hunters that are at least level 110, as this Gryphon is considered a spirit beast, and thus an exotic pet, which can only be tamed and used by Beast Mastery hunters. BM hunters have a distinction where every single spirit beast pet is a rare spawn or hard to find. And as far as I know, only the Spectral Gryphon and Gone are the only two spirit beasts which require you to click on an item in order to summon them. A hidden item, so to speak. Now, the Spectral Gryphon is meant for Alliance players, as it's located in a very heavily traveled area in an Alliance city, and the feather itself has a spawn timer anywhere from 15 minutes to 12 hours. So it's very difficult for Horde players to try to get one of it. Luckily, there is a Horde equivalent. If you click on the Spectral Egg in Orgrimmar, in the Valley of Spirits, you can summon the Spirit Beast Gone, who is a ghostly blue raptor. This is in an area nowhere near as heavily traveled as a Spectral Gryphon though, so it's a little easier to get. Although both require you to hang out in the opposite main faction city, which in itself is a pretty difficult task for hunters to accomplish. Now, despite both of these basically being hunters' pets, they are spawned by clicking on a hidden item that people had to find on their own, as it was a secret in the game, which I think qualifies them for this list. And at number 6, we have Zoom. Zoom is a pet you can obtain from completing a secret event located in a high mountain cave, where a bunch of snails are racing each other, and if you help the smallest and slowest snail, named Zoom, win the race, you'll obtain an achievement and get the Zoom pet. And the best way to help Zoom win is to just kind of stand in front of the other snails, as they'll try their best to go around you, and it does slow them down a bit. But also, someone found a secret interaction with another pet called the Fragment of Desire, which is a pet obtained in the Black Temple. If you have the Fragment of Desire out, it will periodically daze all of the snails, including Zoom though. So the best way to use the fragment is to first help Zoom get into first place, then bring out the Fragment of Desire and just wait for it to daze them all. And this should be more than enough to allow Zoom to win the race pretty easily, and by a pretty big lead as well. And at number 5, we have the Dark Ranger's Hood. This is a transmog helm item only available to hunters, and requires you to complete a secret quest chain in the Hunter Order Hall. What you have to do is speak to an NPC called Death Hunter Morgoth, who will ask you to talk to one of the Dark Rangers in the building and give her some flowers, since he has a crush on her. The Dark Ranger will then tell you to go let Morgoth down easily, as she's undead and can't be with a living person. After you talk to Morgoth and tell him the bad news, you can then return to the Dark Ranger and she'll have a quest available, where she tells you she basically feels bad for Morgoth and that you should give him one of her old hoods. And when you give it to Morgoth, he tells you he'll mass produce them, and then allow you to buy one of the hoods from him for about 20 gold. Seeing as this item is only available to high-level hunters who have done a hidden quest chain in order to unlock it, it's a pretty rare hidden item, since not very many people are able to get it. And at number 4, we have the Lost Mail. This is an item that will randomly spawn in front of a mailbox in Legion Dalaran, which is located in front of the Violet Citadel. Lost Mail spawns roughly every 3 hours at random intervals, so all you have to do is wait there until it spawns. Alternatively, you can just buy this item off the auction house. Or, once you complete the quest chain this item starts, you'll obtain a copy of Lost Mail, which you can just give away. So, you can just ask one of your friends who's already done this quest chain if they have a spare Lost Mail. Anyways, once you have this item, you will go on a little quest chain around the world delivering mail, and end up with a mini-game where you have to sort mail based on location to location, where it'll give you the name of a town, and you'll have to put in the portal which corresponds with that town's continent. So if it tells you that a piece of mail is for Goldshire, you will throw it into the Eastern Kingdom's portal, and so on and so on. If you complete the minigame, you'll complete the quest, which will give you a copy of Lost Mail and an heirloom token. But if you take on hard mode, which removes the zone the town is located in, and are able to sort 30 letters within 60 seconds, you'll get a priority mail and post-haste achievement, which will award you a battle pet, the Postmaster title, and a toy item, which is arguably one of the most useful toys in the game, as it allows you to bring out a portable mailbox for 10 minutes, on a 3-hour cooldown. No other restrictions, all your alts can use it, and you now just have a mailbox whenever you want, wherever you want. And I'd highly recommend attempting this to get that. And at number 3, we have WINDLE'S Lighter. In Northrend Dalaran, at 9 o'clock at night, the NPC named WINDLE Sparkshine will walk around the city and use a wand to light up some of the lampposts. Once he's done, for a limited time, he'll sell an item called WINDLE'S Lighter. And if you buy the lighter from him, you can go around and light up the lampposts that he might have missed, since he won't light all of them up. And before Legion, this was the only way to get this item. But in Legion, With New Dalaran located in the Broken Isles, you can just simply walk up to Windle Sparkshine and buy this item from him whenever you want. The difference being, in New Dalaran, you can't use a lighter to light up lampposts, and it only works on the wall lamps. But if you then go back to Northrend Dalaran, you can use the same exact lighter on the lamppost in that city, so it's literally the same item. If you ask Windle how come you can no longer use the lighter on the lampposts, he'll tell you, "Oh yes, terribly sorry about that. I like to light the lamppost myself. You see, it helps me. Let's leave it at that, please." And that's because whenever he lights up a new lamppost in Legion Dalaran, he'll also have a little image of his daughter. Because Windle's daughter became the apprentice of Jaina for a hot second, and was in Theramore and died when Garrosh bombed the city. So he now goes around the city and lights the lamppost with his daughter's image in memory of his lost daughter. And at number 2, we have the WAYFARER'S Bonfire. This is a toy item which is a reference to the Dark Souls Bonfire, which can only be obtained if you have the follower, Solaire of Anderhall, in your garrison. And the way to acquire this follower is basically at random. When you recruit a new follower through your level 2 Lunarfall Inn or Frostwall Tavern, which allows you to pick one new follower every week with a specific trait that you're looking for. And if you manage to get this follower, all you have to do is set him out in your garrison. Go out and look for him, and then type /tired while targeting him. And there you have it. You'll obtain the WAYFARER'S Bonfire toy item. You can also /praise him, and he'll give you a 2-second Praise the Light buff. And if you right click on the bonfire, it will give you a Bonfire's Reprieve buff. Neither of these buffs do anything, and are just flavorful abilities, which I assume are references to Dark Souls, as I haven't actually played that game yet. Now, there is an alternative way to get this if you don't want to just try and get lucky and recruit a specific follower. If you have a friend who has this follower in their garrison, you can just join their group, go to their garrison, and do the /tire to him, and this will also grant you the toy item. And at number 1, we have the Mesmerizing Fruit Hat. This was a hidden item added to the game in Warlords of Draenor, but no one actually found it until late in the expansion. The item is located under a building in the Valley of Four Winds in Pandaria, and all you have to do is just go to the location and click on it to obtain the hat. But the hat also has a hidden function to it. In addition to the main function of allowing you to dance when you use it, and being unique that it allows you to dance while mounted as well, if you take the hat to your garrison and use it, and start walking around your garrison, your followers will start dancing and follow you in a conga line. So if you walk around long enough, you can get everyone in your garrison dancing behind you. But if you stand still for too long, they'll just go back to doing whatever. A few notes about this item. It is not a toy item, and you have to use it from your inventory. And if you destroy this item, you won't be able to get another one on that same character. So it's an easy to get, actual hidden item with a neat little effect of forming a conga line. And I think this item perfectly encompasses what hidden items should be like, which is why I put it at the number 1 spot on this list. Alright, and that's the end of the video. If you know of any other hidden items in the game, or have ideas for videos similar to this one, I'd love to hear about them down in the comments.